Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Usually when a legendary rock band releases like a massive smash hit album, you kind of just expect them to keep playing the hits, right?
Yeah, totally. You just assume they're going to head back into the studio and keep doing exactly what got them to the top.
Right. But imagine if, right at the peak of that success, their incredibly innovative lead guitarist, like the specific person who totally revamped their sound, just packs up and heads home.
That completely shatters that expectation of continuity. I mean, it forces a total reimagining of their identity.
Exactly. And that is the creative crossroads South Africa's Springboks are staring down right now. Head coach Rassie Erasmus is officially hunting for a new attack guru because Tony Brown is heading back to New Zealand permanently after the World Cup next year.
Which is huge. Brown was the guy who energized their whole attack.
Yeah, he really did. So our mission today is to analyze this wildly stacked short list of candidates to replace him and, try to decode what this search reveals about Rassie's overarching strategy, because Rassie always has a plan.
Oh, without a doubt. He's always thinking 3 steps ahead.
He really is. Now, before we get too deep into the candidates, make sure you subscribe to the Rugby Obsession YouTube channel and newsletter from the link in the description. We've got a lot of great content coming your way.
Absolutely. So to really understand the gravity of Rassie's plan, we have to look at what Tony Brown actually accomplished. I mean, historically, the Springboks have just overpowered teams, right?
Yeah, just pure physical dominance.
Right. But Brown brought this crucial balance. When the laws changed before the 2023 World Cup and the breakdown sped up, he didn't just run basic passing drills. He completely re-engineered their attacking geometry.
Wow. How so? Like, what did he change specifically?
Well, he took those massive South African ball carriers and started using them as intricate decoys, not just battering rams anymore.
Oh, interesting. So that holds the defense for just a fraction of a second longer.
Exactly, which then opens up those wide channels to exploit space. It was brilliant.
So, okay, if your current lead guitarist was this brilliant import from a rival nation, an ex-All Black, do you just go out and try to hire another one?
That's the big question. And that brings us to Nick Evans.
Right, Nick Evans, another former All Blacks fly half. He just stepped down after, 18 years at Harlequins?
Yeah, a massive stint as a player and an attack coach. And the synergy here is, well, it's the biggest selling point. Evans worked right alongside Jerry Flannery at Harlequins.
Oh, right, and Flannery is the current Springboks defense coach.
Exactly. And modern rugby is all about how your attack and defense communicate. Flannery built this defensive system designed to create chaos and win turnovers. And Evans built an attack explicitly designed to strike right in that 3-second transition window.
Before the opposition can even set their defensive line, that's how they won the 2021 Premiership title together, right?
Spot on. Their philosophies fit together perfectly. Plus, practically speaking, Evans could attend BOKS camps initially just to get a feel for things, exactly like Flannery did in 2023.
Oh, wait, let me push back a little here. Aren't they just, trying to repeat a magic trick?
How you mean?
Well, hiring an ex-All Black worked wonders once. So are they just pattern matching, looking for another ex-All Black fly half and hoping for the same result? Is there a real strategic fit, or is it just chasing a passport?
That is a totally valid concern, but Evans isn't a one-trick pony. I mean, he worked with England part-time too, so he's adaptable. But if we want to avoid that pattern matching trap, Mike Catt is the overseas name that really demands attention.
Mike Catt. He is such a fascinating variable because he was born and raised in South Africa, but he played all his international rugby for England.
Yeah, won the 2003 World Cup with them.
Right, and he just left the NSW Waratahs. But the Waratahs definitely underperformed under him, didn't they? I feel like fans might just write him off immediately because of that.
I get that, but looking at a 2-year club stint kind of ignores the macro view of his whole career. Catt is a world-class architect of attacking systems at the test level.
Yeah, his work with Ireland was pretty incredible.
Yeah, exactly. He built this system of interconnected attacking pods for Ireland. Instead of one guy carrying the ball, Catt's system sends 3 players in the line simultaneously in a tight formation.
Oh, well, so the defense basically has to guess who's getting the ball.
Right. Will it be carried, tipped short, passed out the back? It makes the attack almost impossible to read, but it requires, immense rugby IQ from the players.
So hiring Catt would mean asking the Springboks to play a totally new genre of music, moving away from Brown's space exploitation into Catt's shape-shifting pod system.
Exactly, it'd be a huge shift.
Okay, so flashy international names are one route. But Rassie is famous for his crazy internal structures. What if the solution is already inside the building? But hey, before we dive into the internal shuffle, just a quick reminder to subscribe to the Rugby Obsession YouTube channel and newsletter from the link in the description. You do not want to miss our future deep dives.
For sure. So, looking internally, Erasmus has this genius for long-term resource management. Let's look at Felix Jones, for example.
Right. His title right now is Defense Consultant, which sounds weird for an attack discussion.
It does. But he was actually Munster's backline coach when Erasmus was in charge there. He meticulously analyzes the micro movements of backline players.
Okay, and then you have Mzwandile Stick. He's the current skills coach specializing in aerial and off-the-ball work, right?
Yeah. And he's heavily tipped as a potential future head coach for the Bulls. Stick actually held an attacking role briefly before Rassie took over in 2018.
And his aerial focus is so vital because for South Africa, the kick chase isn't just about territory. It's a primary attacking weapon.
Exactly. Winning the ball back 30 meters downfield is how they generate their most dangerous front football.
So this feels like a massive corporate restructuring. Do you promote Stick to test his leadership in a new department? Or do you shift Jones back to his original expertise now that a spot is open?
Coaching titles at this level are incredibly fluid. A defense consultant can easily shift if their underlying expertise is attack. And that actually brings us to the wildest rumor right now.
Oh, the Jacques Nienaber rumor. The idea of a World Cup winning head coach returning as an assistant is just, it's sheer madness.
It sounds crazy, right? He's at Leinster now, but people think he might return.
But wait, Nienaber is a defense mastermind. He built their suffocating line speed. He is absolutely not an attack coach.
He's not. But his return would be the ultimate catalyst. Think about it. With Brown's salary off the books, you have the capital to bring Nienaber back to co-run the defense with Flannery.
Oh, I see. So building an impenetrable brains trust on defense.
Yes, which instantly frees up Felix Jones to drop his defensive duties and focus exclusively on the backs and the attack.
That is brilliant. The solution to losing your attack coach is hiring a defense coach so your defense consultant can become the attack coach. It's an absolute chess match.
It really is. It's like having your bassist switch to lead guitar because you found a great drummer who also plays bass.
Perfect analogy. But okay, what if Rassie doesn't promote from within or hire a foreigner? The next logical step is looking at South African expats, right? The prodigies coaching abroad.
Yeah, and there's some heavy hitters there. Franco Smith, for instance, he's the head coach in Glasgow Warriors right now.
And he runs a really highly structured, high-tempo attack there, right? Plus, he and Rassie go way back as Springbok teammates.
They do. They also work together at the Cheetahs. But Smith is contracted in Scotland through the 2027-28 season.
So SA Rugby would have to pay a massive buyout. And besides the money, isn't there a question of ambition? Like, he wants to be an international head coach.
Exactly. He's been linked to the Wales and Scotland top jobs. Does he really want to step back into an assistant role, even if it comes with a wink and a nod about taking over the Springboks after 2031?
Yeah, it's like asking a successful CEO to take a VP role with just the promise of a future promotion. That's a massive career calculation.
It really is. Another expat to watch is A.B. Zonda, currently at Lyon. His pedigree is just undeniable.
Oh, yeah. Started at the Sharks, went to Toulouse and won 2 top 14 titles and a Champions Cup, then coached Scotland's attack. The guy is an attacking nomad who just wins everywhere.
And his time at Toulouse is what makes him so intriguing. They play this brand of rugby, heavily reliant on offloading and contact and using dual playmakers.
Wow. Imagine injecting that silky, high-risk offloading game into South Africa's heavy ball carriers, like Peter Steph du Toit hitting a basketball-style offload in the tackle.
Exactly. Zonda brings that perfect fusion of South African physicality with European flair.
Okay, what if Rassie looks at the youth pipeline instead? Kevin Foot's name is gaining some serious traction. He's had a great run as the junior BOKS head coach.
Rassie clearly trusts Foot's developmental work. Look at how many under-20 stars have been fast-tracked into the senior camp recently.
True, so Foot already has hands-on relationships with the talent that'll form the core of the 2027 squad.
Exactly. But there's a risk there.
Yeah, let me challenge that actually. If you promote Foot right now, aren't you risking completely destabilizing the under-20s pipeline? Like, is fixing the senior attack worth breaking the youth system?
It's a fair point. You don't want to rob the cradle at the expense of the future. But the tactical upside is immense. It's about creating a unified pipeline.
Oh, so speaking the same tactical language from top to bottom.
Right. A 20-year-old coming into his first Springbok camp wouldn't have to learn a whole new playbook. He'd already know it intimately because Foot taught it to him 3 years ago. The transition becomes completely seamless.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. But what about the coaches sitting right in South Africa's domestic leagues? We haven't really touched on them.
Well, that hits on a very traditional boundary in SA rugby. They rarely pull from the domestic franchise pool.
Which seems so counterintuitive to me. You have guys like Dawie Snyman at the Stormers or Ricardo Laupscher at the Lions. Snyman's knowledge of local talent is unparalleled.
Yeah, and you have guys like Scott Matthew heading to the Sharks
Right.
or Neil de Bruin at the Bulls.
Right. But aside from bringing in Dan Human from the Bulls, which was a rare exception, they almost always go outside. Why the reluctance to promote domestic coaches?
It comes down to Rassie operating as an ecosystem manager, not just a head coach. Rating the franchises for their best tactical minds might solve a short-term issue for the Springboks, but it actively harms the local clubs.
Oh, I see. If the Stormers lose Snyman, their attack falters, they win less, TV revenue drops.
Exactly. They can't retain top players, youth development suffers. If the domestic franchises starve, the national team's talent pipeline dries up.
That is macroeconomics applied to rugby coaching, so he leaves them in place to cultivate the next generation. That's incredibly smart.
It really is. And it just highlights how luxurious Rassie's position is right now. He has a massive pool of diverse candidates and plenty of time to make a decision.
Yeah, he really does. He could bring in an ex-All Black like Evans, orchestrate a brilliant internal shuffle for Jones, lure back an innovator like Zonda, or elevate Foot to unify the tactical language.
The main takeaway for me is just how positive and systematic this whole search is. There was zero panic. They're just evaluating a rich ecosystem of options.
Well, whichever route he chooses, this hire will completely dictate the Springboks' identity for the next World Cup cycle. We would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this puzzle. Who do you think should be the next lead guitarist for the Springboks? Let us know in the comments.
And I'll leave you with this final kind of provocative thought. The Springboks built their dynasty on an intimidating, predictable foundation of physical dominance and defense. Tony Brown brought unpredictability.
Right.
If Rassie chooses to shuffle his internal, defense-minded loyalists to cover the attack, do they risk reverting to their old one-dimensional style? Or are we witnessing the evolution of a coaching system where traditional labels like attack and defense just don't apply anymore?
Oh, wow. That is a brilliant question. Like that rock band, do they lean into an acoustic cover of their old hits or invent a completely new genre entirely? Really something to chew on.
And remember to subscribe to the Rugby Obsession YouTube channel and newsletter from the link in the description. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.